What is up, everybody? I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to Jade Shadow's Constellations. I have been really excited for this update. I do think that Jade Shadows is probably the best update DE has done that wasn't one of the big winter drops. So when they announced that they were doing a sequel to Jade Shadows, I was like, hell yeah. And the main focal point of this update is, obviously, our boys Sirius and Orion. Now, I have not played the quest yet, so there will be zero spoilers in this video. It's literally impossible for me to do so because I haven't played it. What I have instead spent all this time doing, and by that I mean a couple of hours, is leveling up and trying to understand how these two Warframes work and what is the best way to build them. And I do have to say, these Warframes are really strong, everybody. Like, it's kind of crazy. I'm not trying to waste your time though, so let's just get right into it and explain how both Sirius and Orion work. Because yes, this is one Warframe that is actually two Warframes. Starting with their passive, which states that swapping between them grants 45% ability efficiency for the next two ability casts, and then while you are below 50 energy, Sirius and Orion will steal energy from each other. To put it simply, while they do share an ultimate ability, both Sirius and Orion have unique 1s, 2s, and 3s. But if you want to swap over to the alternate brother, right now I am on Sirius, if I want to go over to Orion, all you have to do is just hold cast any of your abilities. In which case, the opposite Warframe will come and cast their version of that ability. The animation they do to like kind of kick each other out of frame is really clean and honestly just flows super well. You can do all this stuff while you're doing your parkour and you don't lose any type of velocity. The movement is really smooth. Works for all three of them. It is just like they really figured out how to do a kind of duo character swapping playstyle like really well. And props to them for that because that's not very easy. But for what this means, basically 45% efficiency is very easy to run on these guys due to this passive. Starting off with Sirius's kit though, and I'm just going to go through all three of his abilities before then covering Orion, we have Coronal Ejection. Now you're going to have to forgive me because this guy is going to be shooting at all these enemies while I do this ability demonstration. Using his first ability will launch a Jade Light infused scythe towards enemies that will deal a bunch of heat damage to them, triggering the status. But more uniquely, if we actually kill these guys, you see that energy pickup right there? Toss that over, and boom, it brings them back to us. Now, I mean, this guy could not possibly be making this explanation harder to do. What? Bro, you're not even hitting them. Just going to take this away from you. Anyways, as you see here, yes, it collects any pickups that are in its path, and you can also increase the base damage and status chance by adding on more ability strength. And while the damage here is honestly quite good for low levels, you will just outright kill enemies with it. The pickup collecting is really useful because even if you are playing Orion and you kill a bunch of enemies, you can just hold cast and then grab all those pickups right back to you. Ability number 2 is Jade Stars, stating that Sirius will conjure Jade Light motes that slowly regenerate over time, and then attacking enemies will launch the motes, dealing heat damage and status effect. Rather self-explanatory here, you cast, you get all these motes above you, and so does Orion, which is very nice. And then when you shoot enemies, they will fly off and deal a little bit of damage. You'll see that if I just beam, I kind of lose them, but they will regenerate over time. I don't personally find the damage that they deal to be that useful. If this guy could stop black holing all my enemies. But extra damage is extra damage, and it does deal a little bit in an AoE. I would honestly argue that the best part of this ability is the heat status, because now you get another one for condition overload style effects, and it does provide a little bit of crowd control. Not that most enemies you are shooting should live for very long anyways. Ability number 3 is Light's Sanctuary. And this one, I really like this one. Casting will create a ring of both healing and damage reduction that will slowly increase in size, same with the healing and DR. And taking a page out of Jade's book, if you touch an enemy with this ring, it will revive them. There is a 60-second cooldown on that, but hopefully your teammates aren't dying that often. With a pretty good base duration of 30 seconds and the ability to recast while in the radius to refresh its duration, this is literally a buff that you should just put up on a defense objective, any objective, or just in a big room you're playing survival in, and it will give you a ton of HP. The damage reduction unfortunately caps out at 75%, but as long as you combine it with at least one other source of 90% DR, you're gonna be fine. But yeah, right here with just my Archon Shards giving me ability strength, I'm getting 80 health per second. That is a pretty good regeneration right there. I will go over the fourth ability after I cover Orion's abilities, which let's get right to that. Starting off with his 1. Kicking Sirius out of here, this is a very similar ability to Sirius's 1, but it has a lot less range and also armor strips enemies. Damn, look at that. Now they all have 0 armor and have 2 slash procs, which are dealing pretty considerable damage. I mean, that's pretty good to me. So maybe it really isn't all that similar, actually. I don't know. They just both use a scythe. I'd say the goal with this ability is come up on a group, slash them all to take away all their armor, and also put a slash status effect on them, which is more condition overload damage. But even in low levels, if you put a lot of range on this thing, you can run around and just one-tap enemies with the slash. That is how good the damage here is. And it also costs literally nothing to use. Orion's second ability is Astral Shell, and this one is a bit easier to show here. You envelop him in an Astral Shell, the same applies to Sirius when you cast it, and then upon taking damage, the shell will become a decoy that draws fire away from you until it is destroyed. I'm gonna unpause the AI here, see what I can do, and then if I come in here and cast this, that is what the decoy looks like. Now, they're all shooting at Sirius right now, but... okay, if we look at it now, actually, it's kind of cooking right there. You shoot me over here, you run away, all the enemies will focus on it because it should have a bit of a higher threat level if I'm not mistaken. And it's very cool that your brother can also trigger one at the same time. And now for his final ability, we have probably the coolest one visually, though I will say the fourth ability is like top tier Warframe stuff right here. This one is called Event Horizon, which is a very fitting name because casting this ability literally has Orion chuck a black hole at his enemies. I mean, what is that? When it gets near enemies, they will all be pulled kind of to the center of the black hole, if not just a little bit around it. And then you can, I don't know, hit them with your 1, shoot them with your gun, maybe use their ultimate ability. It is just very simple crowd control that doesn't deal a ton of damage, but hey man, it looks very, very sick. And it does have a nice synergy with his 1. If you use Orion's 1 on it, it will actually push it away from you. But if you use Sirius's 1, it will pull it back. Neat. Jesus Christ. Oh, okay. No collision on any of that, I guess. If you look in the bottom right above my weapons HUD, you will see a constellation looking thing that has some red and green dots on it. This is how you use their fourth ability. But let me get rid of the charge so I can explain all of this. 1 second. As you cast abilities, you will see that in the bottom right, you are adding the respective color dot to that part of the constellation. But if I try to cast more than 2 in a row on one character, it doesn't add anything else. You need to swap over to another character. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. You need to swap over to the other brother and then use your abilities there to fill up the constellation. These can be any abilities besides the fourth ability, obviously. And this really promotes a kind of flip-floppy playstyle, which in my opinion is really fun and also has the added synergy with his passive because it only gives you the ability efficiency for 2 casts, but you don't want to cast more than twice because you won't be able to fill up your clash that quickly. Speaking of though, with our bar now fully filled up, if you activate your fourth ability, you go into a sort of Jade style hover mode, and this does not require any energy at all. And in this state, you can teleport around really quickly. I mean, the movement here is ridiculous. I honestly think that you, in some cases, would be best off to just get a single stack, go into your fourth ability, and not use it at all to zoom around the map. But while you're in this state, you see how I have that red triangle on my right? That means that the first attack I should do is an Orion attack, which means I should right-click. You'll see it's still red, and that is because over in my constellation, I casted 2 Orion abilities, so I have 2 red charges, which would mean another right click. Now it goes over to green, that's a left click, and then right, right again, left, left, and bam. Very, very cool stuff happening there. Essentially, the 2 brothers are literally jumping into the air and clashing swords. It is called Celestial Clash, and the damage here is absolutely ridiculous. When they say colossal collateral blast damage, they're not lying. Yeah, so you just straight up kind of nuke entire tiles while you use that one. Pretty cool. The critical chance of the clashes increases by 50% every time you do it. So by the time you're getting to that 7th clash, which does extra damage by the way, you're having another 350% critical chance for this ability. Another thing I feel like I should point out in case it wasn't really obvious though, is that while you're not playing one of the brothers, like the other one is going to be out there doing stuff, casting abilities, fighting enemies. Now he might not come over here because these guys aren't turned on, but oh, there he is. Hey bruh, shoot him. Bro just starts crouching. They're all fighting. He don't really seem to care. Simulacrum craziness. Mink, mink, mink. Let's talk builds now. I've been yapping for a minute, and there are a lot of ways to approach modding 2 Warframes for the price of 1. Who the fuck? Oh, shit. Starting off with Sirius, I have him set up to push range and strength as high as we can get them to make his Light Sanctuary the best healing zone it could possibly be. There is also the added benefit of having 28,300 base blast damage on Celestial Clash. But the goal here is to just allow this ability to pretty much keep your team alive under any circumstance. Combine that with the Jade Stars, which give added crowd control. The first ability now also reaches so far, so if you see a pickup that's really far away from you, just chuck this thing at it and it'll go pick it up for you. But by doing this, we can essentially make Orion into a really strong weapons platform because we're giving him a lot of really nice passive effects with all of Sirius's abilities. I also really like to use Arcane Steadfast here because you are casting all of the time, and when you get your next 3 abilities to not cost any energy, with just Equilibrium, you don't need to run any other type of energy management. The 45% from the passive, the fact that they steal energy from each other, it's really comfy here. And then coming over to Orion, things look similar here, but we are running primed redirection and adaptation. This combined with the HP given from Sirius's 3rd ability make you so obnoxiously tanky. Adaptation plus all that DR is not breaking through primed redirection level shields. And if it somehow does, you're generating like 120 HP a second. You can't die. Strength here is less important. It obviously still does apply to Celestial Clash, and also you do want over 200% for the 1-tap defense reduction, but we're not pushing it as high because Astral Shell doesn't really need anything else besides ability range. Same goes for Event Horizon. You're not using this to kill people, you're using it to group them up so then you can kill people that are in it. Arcane Steadfast again here. Also important to note that while you can run 2 aura mods here, you unfortunately cannot double on the same one. I'm pretty sure I have Growing Power on my other guy, and if I take some mods out here so that we can run Growing Power for just a second, you will see that it where the fuck is Growing Power? What happened to the mod? There it is. You'll see that it says Growing Power is installed on both Sirius and Orion. Only Sirius's aura will be active. You'll see that I have Arcane Hotshot here, giving us 300% more critical chance just for inflicting heat with our abilities, which both the Black Hole and the 1 off of Sirius will do, and the 2 actually, which does it while you're shooting. So this is kept up pretty passively, but you could run anything here. You want to use Fire Rate, you want to use Energize, this is your open slot. And if you come back over to Sirius, technically you don't need to run Multi-Augmented, but this pushes the heal per second way higher on Light Sanctuary, and also should make sure you have a guaranteed status on Jade Stars. Coronal Ejection will just be triggering a ton of heat. It should make keeping up Hotshot really easy. Archon Shards wise, I am running a lot of ability strength, but again, this is really up to you. You could run Duration here, you could run a bunch of purple shards and then not use Equilibrium. You could put Energy Max here, but I don't really think you need it. 1 casting speed, Tau Forged, I would definitely recommend so that the swapping feels pretty snappy. And then here is your open slot. You could put a Tau Forged Energy Shard here. Really use whatever you want. Weapons wise, I think the Phantasma and the... where's it at? The Kuva Nucor are the best weapons to use because in the hands of your twin, they won't suck absolute ass with these like you saw him doing with the Latum earlier. Here is the build that I'm using on the Phantasma. And then here is the build that I'm using on the Kuva Nucor. Kratos for the movement speed, benefits from Evolved Ascension and Drifting Grace, and then any focus school you want. Companion should probably be like a Panzer or a Nautilus. Holy, who is this guy? What? I don't even know what's happening. Oh, you're over here now. This update is ridiculous, guys. But that pretty much sums up Sirius and Orion and the way that I have decided to play him on day one. We're going to find out a lot more about these characters. There are going to be more builds that show up, but I just wanted to give you a quick look at what is going on with his kit so soon into the update. Nightest video to come after this. I'll see you all very soon. Enjoy the gameplay. Peace. Bye.